Donald Trump's $40 million birthday parade in Washington, D.C. was intended to be a grand display of patriotism and power. Instead, it was defined by low turnout, empty bleachers, and muted applause. While military equipment lined the streets and helicopters hovered above, the crowd Trump had anticipated never materialized. Broadcasters avoided wide shots, and even supportive networks downplayed the turnout. The parade coincided with the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, a fact that drew criticism from veterans who felt the day had been overshadowed by personal spectacle. The $40 million price tag raised further backlash, with critics pointing out that the money could have supported veteran services. Meanwhile, millions across the country took to the streets for No King's Day, a peaceful protest against political vanity and authoritarian symbolism. From big cities to small towns, people marched with signs, chanting messages of democracy and accountability. Over 6 million participated nationwide, compared to the estimated 40,000 at Trump's event. Behind closed doors, Trump's team scrambled to explain the poor turnout, offering excuses from road closures to sabotage. But the real message was unmistakable. Many Americans were no longer willing to show up for political pageantry. After the failed $40 million parade, the phrase, "I've survived worse," began circulating. But not as a defense. It became a punchline. On cable panels, empty bleachers looped alongside footage of packed protests in cities like Seattle and Kansas City. One strategist called it a collapse of the illusion, and the phrase stuck. Behind closed doors, donors backed away, and allies distanced themselves. The celebration had quickly turned into damage control. Meanwhile, Representative Jasmine Crockett was watching, not from a studio, but quietly from her office. She downloaded the live stream, studied it, took notes. No press conference, no posts, just preparation. She wasn't looking for headlines, she was waiting for the hearing. When the day came, the hearing room was full. Trump sat stiffly, watching the committee assemble. Jasmine entered with quiet focus, a folder under her arm. No staffers trailed her, no fanfare. When called to speak, she stayed calm. She laid out facts. Millions spent on pageantry, while VA centers remained underfunded. Veterans left out of an event supposedly in their honor. She quoted their statements, their frustration. Trump interrupted, called her claims lies. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't flinch. She answered with a spreadsheet. In a room full of noise, it was her silence and precision that hit hardest. Trump tried to dismiss her as someone chasing headlines. But no one else spoke. No one backed him. The message had already landed. The parade was supposed to be a show of strength. Instead, it collapsed under its own weight. Millions protested in the streets while the bleachers sat mostly empty. Footage of the failed event looped endlessly on the news, and Trump's allies began to quietly back away. In her quiet D.C. office, Representative Jasmine Crockett watched. No tweets, no pressers, just silence and preparation. She wasn't chasing a moment, she was waiting for it. At the hearing, Trump sat stiff and defensive. When Jasmine finally spoke, her voice was steady, her facts sharp. She didn't accuse, she exposed. She held up data showing how the $42 million parade budget could have supported veterans' mental health services. Trump lashed out. He mocked her, demanded to know what her protest had built. Respect, she answered. Calm, clear, cold. He unraveled, ranted, rose from his chair, trying to reclaim control, but the spell was broken. Jasmine didn't flinch. She didn't need to. The moment went viral. Not because she shouted, but because she didn't. Her restraint became her power. Online, clips of the hearing spread fast. Veterans, nurses, and everyday citizens saw something rare. Someone standing in front of power without backing down, without making it about themselves. Trump's team called it a partisan stunt. No one bought it. For once, the cameras didn't flatter him. They captured him unraveling. Jasmine? She went back to work. No interviews, no grandstanding, just the same quiet determination. In classrooms, sermons, and small-town diners, people kept talking. Not just about what she said, but how she said it. Calm, focused, real. Because sometimes leadership doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes the most powerful voice is the one that speaks last, and then lets the silence do the rest.